Okay, so today we're going to be looking again at Cerberus Audio's Epoch plugin, the Dynamic Comb Filter. And we're going to be looking at the gate function, and we're going to use the gate function to show how basically the plugin works as a compressor as well, because the gate will give us some insight into what it's really doing tonally and dynamically. Okay, so here we have, again, Epoch, the plugin, and here we have a drum break. So let's hear our drum break. Okay, so the drum break we've all come to know and love, the in break. Okay, so there it is, and here's Epoch, and let's turn it on. Okay, now we're gonna use this little button here that says INV invert, and it will turn Epoch into a gate. Okay, so let's how should we do this? Okay, let's turn everything to 0, 0, 0, 0. Actually, that's not 0. Well, this button will cover and what it exactly does. Okay, so actually, let's turn the strength all the way down. Okay. Okay, so to a certain extent, Epoch is doing almost nothing right now. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're just going to work with the dynamics right now, and we're going to turn up the sensitivity and the strength till we get it to gate, which, you know, for most people checking this out, it won't really be a mystery, but let's just make that happen. Oh, and we're gonna have to deal with our tag and release time just to get it tweaked a little bit. Okay, so there you have extreme gating. Okay, your strength and your sensitivity are going to affect, you know, how much that does. And your attack and release. Epoch has extremely fast attack times and extremely fast release times, almost to the point of being just insane. A little more release, you know, there you go. Okay, so turn that down a bit. Okay, can you almost got sort of a more of a roll to it now. Let's turn that off. And let's bring up the output a bit just to match our levels. Okay, so you can hear it's working like a gate, and it's, you know, we've got a longer release, so the tail of the gate is staying open a little bit longer, so it kind of makes it roll and pump a little bit. Okay, now this knob here is the tightness knob, which means how it relates to transients. And the more you go like this, the less transients you'll have, and the more you go like that, the more transient you'll have. Okay, so let's see how that relates to our gate. Okay, bring it up. Right, so you can really hear it popping through there. Okay, which can be very useful. You know, it's, you basically have control over how it's working with the transients, or how extremely it's going to work with the transients. Okay, so now this is the neat thing, is if you want to understand what Epoch is doing, the gate is a really cool way to check it out when you want to start dealing with the tonal aspects of it, because the gate is going to show us what is really happening to the sound. Okay, so we're going to go back to a more extreme setting. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to turn up the delay just a little bit. Okay. And there you have it. Okay, so now we can hear when the gated signal is at 0, when there's no volume, when the gate is closed. The gate is not really closed anymore. The gate, this is what the gate is now letting through, is that signal. Okay, and if we turn the delay back to 0, boom. So this is basically what we're going to let through in the sort of negative space of the gate, which is really cool. And then this is going to affect the EQ of that as well. well, you could say EQ or you could say whatever, but it's going to affect the sound of what you're letting through. Okay, so let's take that right back to 0. So basically that is the point of the whole thing, is that you can change this and then you'll start to get the inverted or the reversed part of the, not the reverse part of the signal, but the part of the signal that wouldn't be heard is now heard, but you're affecting the tone of what wouldn't be heard. So let's just hear that once more. There we go, straight gate. Let's make it roll a bit more. Okay, now let's let some sound through. Now, this in of itself may not be the most useful piece of material. I mean, if you really wanted it to sound like that, that'd be cool, but it's just more exemplifying what it's really going to do or what it is doing, and gives you a good idea of how it's going to sound, okay? The neat thing is that if you listen, the part that is being let through the gate is still the original sound. So you're not actually affecting that. You're just affecting what else. Okay. Now the cool thing is that is also the basis for what the compressor is doing, just in the reverse fashion. So if you had this setting, and you then compressed, you would get, how should we explain this? When you compressed, you would be compressing the signal, and when the compressor is working, it would have that spectrum, okay? When the compressor is working, and if you had it set to do nothing, then it would just compress. But as soon as you went like that, then when it compressed, it would compress it to that tone. So let's check that out. It's a little bit tougher to hear because the compressor is more subtle, but okay, so first let's just get the compressor working. Okay, where that's pretty extreme compression. Who doesn't love extreme compression? Okay, now we'll do the same thing. Right, so now you hear that snare has like a different quality to the tone. So that's pretty cool because you're totally combining the transients and the tone in this really cool and dynamic way. And once you kind of hear it with the gate working like that, then you can really hear it with the compressor, and it becomes really obvious what's happening. And depending how you want to use that, like with a break beat like this, you can do some really cool things, just layering a couple break beats and maybe gating one and leaving certain frequencies in the gate to come through, and then compressing the other one. And you can really make it sound full, and you can make it punch a lot harder and use it in a way that's really unique and still natural, which can be really cool. So hopefully that's really informative for you guys, and that's gating and a little bit of insight into the functionality of what is really happening as far as the tone and the dynamics. Okay, that's it for now, and happy tweaking.